everybody. Anna will be right back.
Hi, kitty cat.
And in the interim, you guys can all meet Millie. Millie, say hello.
Where's our picture?
I don't know. I don't know where we are. Oh, there we are. Say hi, Millie.
Hi.
Oh, cute.
I know.
Yes, this is Millie. She's Millie. She's very curious and likes to get all up in the middle of everything.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I had a cat named Millie growing up.
Oh, what's your other cat's name? Molly.
Maggie. Millie and Maggie.
Oh, very sweet. I love that. I have my dog is in the studio with me. Hopefully she's not gonna. Sometimes.
Anna, are you from North Carolina?
I am, yeah. So I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I think it's very in terms of like, oh, Charlotte. But I've been in Western North Carolina since 2007. So
Asheville.
My dad's side of the family is from Asheville, and my mom went to graduate school at Appalachian State, which is where I went to school. Yes. But we would always be coming up to the mountains growing up. So I really love this region.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we have a nice group. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sip and Saw with Anna Johnson.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes. Hopefully you're sipping and sawing.
Right.
Yes. I didn't have a nice cup, so I just added my my sip to my current leftover beverage from lunch.
We got to do what we got to do.
Yes. So Susan, who was not able to come tonight because she had a family, someone passed away, so she's not in town. So we said we'll do it. So you have Leah and Mindy tonight instead. Okay. Well, it's 6 o'clock. Should we?
Let's get started.
Can we get started? And we can always let other people in. So let's just introduce ourselves, and then we'll introduce Anna.
All right.
Okay. You want to go first?
Right. Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So, hi, my name is Leah Fideli, for anyone whom I've not yet met today. I am co-president of the Metal Arts Guild, MAG, and I'm very excited to have Anna Johnson here today with us, and looking forward to her workshop upcoming, and also looking forward to MAG moving into its new home. So thank you so much. With that, Mindy.
Oh, hi, I'm Mindy Spritz, and I'm the executive consultant for MAG, and I am really excited that Anna is coming to Atlanta and you'll be our first visiting artist in our new facility in Tucker. So this is very, very exciting. And you'll be here September 12, 13, and 14, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So like we think about you a lot because we're planning our entire move. Anna will be there. Anna will be there. So that's how we are. So Anna, we have more people coming. Okay. So Anna, if you can just tell everybody a little bit of who you are, and we'll then talk about the workshop.
Okay, great. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Anna Johnson, and thanks for having me here. And I'm so excited about the workshop. And I've heard so many great things about MAG, so I'm thrilled to get to go and experience this myself. And so I am a current, so I'm a full-time jeweler, metalsmith, and am a current 3-year resident at Penland School of Craft. I am in my 3rd or 4th month. So April. So I'm cresting into month 4 of the 3 years, which is very exciting. And before that, I've been in Asheville for 11 years. I've been in Western North Carolina for 18 years. And my work is really inspired by nature and life cycles, and I pull a lot from the ecosystem in this area. So it's really beneficial for me to be in kind of having access to lots of biodiversity. And like right now at Penland, it's just really fantastic because there's just, I mean, aside from this, like the massive amount of creative energy, it's also in a pretty rural setting. And those of you know, if anybody is not familiar with Penland School of Craft, it's located in Mitchell County, North Carolina. It's about an hour outside of Asheville, and it is a really, really incredible, special place that has like just awesome studios. Anybody can sign up to take a class if you're 18 or older, and they have a really wide range of studios. So they have like normally there are two metalsmithing, jewelry, or small metals as they call it, classes at a time. Iron, which I just had the opportunity to take my first class ever outside of college, an iron studio last week. There's wood, there's 2 glass studios, there's 2 clay studios, there's printmaking, photography, screen printing, bookmaking, paper, and all of the studios are just like really, really well equipped, and they bring in instructors that are renowned in their craft in one way or another from all over the world to teach. And normally there is 1 week, 2 week, a 6 week, and an 8 week class that you can take. And so they also have the resident program, which is what I'm participating in right now. And with that program, basically it's for artists who are looking to make some sort of transition or focus on a certain project that takes a significant amount of time to develop it. And so basically they equip residents with a studio, an apartment, and basically just like the support of the community to give that freedom to create and really develop the work, which was perfect for me. I've been a full-time jeweler. I've been full-time for 6 years. I've been doing it, let's see, I graduated in 2012 with my BFA in metalsmithing and jewelry design, and kind of hit the ground running with starting my business, but then was supplementing it with the service industry. I waited tables and worked in retail and galleries. And so basically I'm looking, which I'll talk more about later because it's just kind of where I'm at right now, but in no way am I trying to abandon making jewelry, but I do want to stretch it and make work that is like still some work that's still wearable, but then also not be totally confined to that, and make some things that are not meant to go on the body. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm at the beginning of that journey, which I'm very excited about.
And very exciting that you just finished an iron class, because that brings a whole different kind of metal into your life.
Oh yeah, it was so great. It was so fun.
Yes.
All my wheels are turning right now, and being like, I gotta get a welder. I gotta get a big anvil, but I'm just gonna take it one step at a time.
Yes. Well, right before we let everybody in, we were talking, and I said, it's, having this 3-year residency is really like winning an Oscar. I mean, it's like such a life-changing experience to be able to focus on your work without thinking about, the air conditioning breaking or this or that or all those sort of things, and really be able to focus on your work for the next 3 years. What an incredible opportunity. We can't wait to see what you do with this time and your work. But now let's like move a little bit into this really exciting class workshop that you're offering in September through us. And so I had a question about this, and I wrote the questions down. Sorry that I wrote them down. I felt a little bit like Barbara Walters, who had all her questions all written down on little cards. How did this approach to jewelry making come about to you? You know, using the unusual and the found object.
Well, I think, yeah, and I think, you know, a lot of people, especially artists and jewelers who, you know, work small and stuff like that, are we have that need to collect. And so I feel like I've always been, you know, always collected little things, you know, starting with, you know, who knows, like little natural things, and then, you know, of course, you know, beads, you get into that, you get all these little intricacies, and so as I started making jewelry when I was really little, you know, just like simple beaded stuff, and I started with like the macrame bracelets, but you know, so I think like having that palette and having those pieces, and then as I learned metalsmithing in college, all of a sudden it gave that context to, you know, that I could actually incorporate those pieces in. And I think that it kind of turned into collecting elements and then realizing that I could use those as a method, using the textures and lines and things like that, and kind of paint my own picture in the jewelry form with that.
And maybe a little later on, if we have a chance, you can show us some of the work that we've seen, because you know, when it comes to certainly pattern and the tactileness and the color harmonies, I mean, you're really a master at it. So we we'll have a chance maybe to see the work.
Fantastic. All right, so next question coming right up here. Why do you think that it's important for artists and jewelers to explore the unconventional or discarded materials in their practice?
I mean, I think people come to whatever their craft is for a lot of different, you know, for like each person is going to be really different, but I think that it can be so limiting to think of having to just keep those, you know, traditionally precious, that perceived value, you know, in pieces, and that is just the only framework that you have for jewelry. And then I think it's totally up to the eye of the beholder, and you know, what do you see as significant or precious? You know, that's another thing I think with jewelry that is so wonderful, is that there is this sense of connection and preciousness just with it being jewelry in general. And you know, we wear it on our bodies, it's close to us, and we bring it out into the world, and it's, you know, a reflection of ourselves, or it's a reflection of our you know, of our history or family, you know, so it really, I think, speaks to each person. You know, if people have their own art collections in their home, who really gets to see that? And so it just really becomes, I think, like just a way that people can express themselves. I don't know if I just really answered the question. I might have gone off.
You did. Actually, I kind of want to ask a follow-up question, if you don't mind. Do you feel, did you start, I guess, as part of adding in these unlikely items, do you find that maybe were you trying to push the traditional boundaries of what is typically accepted as precious and valuable, that by including these non-traditional like bone and pieces like that you don't typically see, that you're trying to maybe push the boundaries of what can be perceived as valuable.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's that, because I think how I personally think about including bone in my work is I'm trying to distance it from it feeling taboo or having the negative connotation behind it, or, like, I'm not trying to freak people out with it or anything like that. Or of just like incorporating it in a way that is not just like in your face, or just kind of like it's a subtle part of the whole picture. So if I'm using, say, raw minerals, or with precious stones or cast plants or bone, kind of playing with, is anybody getting the center stage, or does it have to be present in every piece, or how can this create like a feeling of a little cycle with all the elements being viewed as beautiful. So it's a lot of times, say for example, I'll use like little vertebrae, and they, I feel like in the context, at least what I'm trying to do is incorporate it in a way that before people identify it as being a bone, that, or a vertebrae, that they recognize it as being like a really intricate, interesting element. And so it kind of gives a second to like cross the wire. So, it's one of those things where I think, for me, I think I've like had a little bit of a fascination with how we deal with, say like end of life and birth, and all of these different elements, all these different phases that are all essential and all feed into each other. So trying to just highlight that in a way that it just makes it all feel beautiful.
That was said very beautifully. Maybe we'll now turn to the actual workshop, and talk a little bit of, you can talk a little bit about that. It's a 3-day workshop, and can you kind of maybe give us a little glimpse into like the day in a life, in these workshops, because I think that many of us who are on the call today, want to know, like, what is it like to, or, what would I learn, kind of thing. So a day in the life of a student in this workshop.
Yeah, well, so one, I include a lot of natural elements, but one, I already said that. So that's not, having things from nature is not a requirement. I feel like sometimes we're like, well, okay, so she's using, bones and stuff like that. That's what I need to bring in. And it's really just, what I like to think of a lot too is just like, what are things that are intriguing to you? And that could be color, texture, context, all of these different things. So it could be, I encourage people taking the workshop to just have a kind of little medley of things that are maybe not like really super precious, so you don't feel that pressure within the 3 days to create like an amazing masterpiece, because you can do that later, but so have things that are like, it could be like a crumpled up piece of paper, or like little toys or broken glass, or like really just anything, and like having a variety of it. And then so basically it's what I'm gonna really kind of focus on is, one, what I do a lot, which I feel like I'm pretty good at, so I think that's a good thing for me to pass along and help people troubleshoot, is doing irregular bezels. And for me, I think that and it's not always the option. Like, I think there's a whole bunch of different ways depending on the material, that maybe like why you choose to do certain settings. But with bezels, if something has a lot of irregularities or is more delicate, it creates a, like really fully encompassing setting that once you get it in there, it makes it more stable to bring in. Like for me, it's a lot of times if it's like a little delicate bone or something, I want to feel comfortable in it being like in a prong because something could like slide under or something and break something. But so like in a bezel, that's a great thing. So anyways, so there'll be a lot of kind of like troubleshooting and stuff like that. And I have a good lengthy handout that goes through that I think has a lot of good little tips. And just like I think if anybody's been doing it for a while, I can see kind of the evolution of how you've gotten better, or like those little things that you've learned along the way that helps you nail it. So I tried to include all of the ones like up to date with where I'm at. So if it's like, say if you had taken a workshop for me like 4 years ago, this is updated because there's little things I'm like, oh wait, this is better and quicker. So we got that. And then also creating, I hope that I could help with some creative, maybe invigorating some creativity and help problem solving with how to bring certain things together. A lot of times my approach is to not think about the process ahead of time. Think about the composition as if you were like laying something out, if it was just like a drawing. And so if it were a drawing, you could have the creative freedom to put any pieces anywhere you want. But then if you think about the process ahead of time, sometimes it can like really limit your design. So I like to encourage people to just don't be like, well, I can't do that because those two pieces won't come together, right? Because usually there's a way. So it's thinking about, different ways that we can bring elements together to make it successful and, look good, look professional.
Well, maybe we should ask, like, what should this like bag of goodies that
Right.
that bring? I mean, are you going to bring any stuff for us, or or should we bring a bag of goodies, and just kind of like prepare so that everyone comes prepared? Can you
Yes.
speak a little bit to that?
Oh yeah, so I will bring goodies, but also everybody should bring goodies too if they want to. So I'll have things to pull from, but then of course if people are taking it virtually, then just like little collections. I mean, it could be like little things around your house. So I think it's just whatever, maybe things that are within a certain size. So let's see here. I think, plan my roulette. Let's see. So probably like maximum, roughly, like this is very, very, I don't know. I shouldn't even say that, but like, we'll say roughly like 2 inches or and under. But that, it could be, I mean, it could vary. I mean, it could be like, I'm just looking at my bench right now. Like it could be like a little fuzz, it really could be anything. Just
it doesn't have to be natural. It doesn't have to be from the natural world. That's that's your gig. That's where you're at. So people should bring where they're at.
Right. Oh, like Kristen loves buttons.
Yes.
Yeah. So like I know a lot of times like people will have like little pieces of ceramic, or I had one woman bring in animal balloons and like little like funny little cat toy thing, like the little army men, and so it really it could be anything at all. Like it could be plastic caps. So just any sort of thing. I would encourage, like, I think that having kind of your classic cut cabochons are great. And especially if you have a studio at home, I would encourage people to bring something like a little bit, have those, you know, because if it's a matter of just things that aren't like of super high value to you, or maybe you do have some things that are high value, but just like have a range, like have things that are just, you can just kind of play with, and you're not gonna feel super attached to it if it doesn't turn out the way, which I think is like really the way to approach any workshop. Just because it ultimately gives you more freedom to kind of let go, and that I think gives you more of a chance to
Go ahead.
Well, so speaking of materials, can you share an example of a surprising material you've used in your own work? Like something that you really didn't think would work, and then you're like, wow, that was a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I think originally I was incorporating the skulls into jewelry, and in a way that makes it wearable. So there's also and that's to each their own, I think, of like how you label something as being wearable. Like for me, my ultimate goal is to sell them because that's how I've generated my income. And so if I have a skull that is, you know, like say a little mouse skull that you're gonna have like a big hollow area to it. So that, unfortunately, I didn't get there right away. It was a learning curve of learning how to after making some and then them going out into the world and then getting smashed. Then you gotta figure out how to fix it, which is also valuable. But then I'll fill things with resin, and so I think that
Oh.
you know is a thing that something that appears really delicate, and then figuring out how to make it to where it can actually go out into the world without me being like, oh no, hopefully I'm not going to get an email.
Please don't come back to me. Please don't come back to me.
Right.
Exactly.
I think everybody's had that moment, but so I have to say, it is nice to hear it coming from a professional. Please don't come back to me.
Oh yeah, that's the goal. Yeah, I mean, it's like you get that email, you're like, especially if it's something that's a one of a kind thing, and with a weird or a setting that's very specific to that object. And it was like, okay, well, now we have to figure this out. So yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you more of like a technique or a technical question. You mentioned that you're going to do, you're going to be covering irregular bezel settings. That's an obvious, and soldering. So, are the skills in this workshop, are they appropriate for beginners, or where should a person be on their journey? Is this the best time for them to take the workshop? Where, in your estimation?
Yeah, I mean, I think I teach beginners all the time and people that have never touched metal before. It is going to be, it'll be a lot of information, but we'll break it down and just, again, like we'll all melt something and you're like, oh no. And I think that's another thing that I'm pretty decent at, as being like, okay, just melted a hole into the bezel, and now the piece is going to be better and more interesting than it was initially. Because I'm sure so many people can relate to this, and if not, and they're taking the class, they're going to get it by the end of it. Everybody's going to mess something up. Is like you're in the middle of something and you have your idea and then something goes wrong, and like 99, I can't even think of a time where I've been like, okay, well, that's just ruined. It's just, it has to, you might go beat your head against the wall for a second, but then you're like, okay, how are we going to fix it? We might not figure it out like at that very moment, but most of the times where I've messed something up, it has gotten better and more interesting because then you're like forced to think outside the box, but that's a lot of things too when teaching workshops, that when people hit that wall, that is the beauty of taking a workshop, because you have someone to be like, help me. Help me get there. And luckily I feel like I have messed things up so many times that I love the figuring it out.
Another question. I had another question. You mentioned like this fabulous handout that you're giving, giving out. Is that the basis like for the weekend? Is the handout, and you all are working through the handout, or
The handout is basically for the irregular bezels, but in it, I try to like I feel like it starts if you didn't have any experience, it's just it not only goes through the irregular bezels, but it also has a bunch of little tips and tricks mixed in. So that is kind of like an all encompassing. A lot of times too, circling back to the beginner, if the class is appropriate for beginners, and like, yes, it will be challenging, but in a good way, I hope, but I think that with doing bezels, it's like also talking about sawing, it's talking about soldering, it's talking about finishing, and different methodologies in it. So that's basically just going to be there for when people are just trying to step through the process, but that won't be everything, because that's not really talking about like the kind of the creative problem solving and different other methods of bringing stuff together.
So there'll be times that, there'll be moments that's what this part of the day is going to be about, creative problem solving and, other topics. Well, you'll be covering some topics over each day, like before lunch or after lunch, or I don't know,
Right. Yeah. And so I'll give people in the class their fair warning that the initial, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the irregular bezel demos. And I like, a lot of times I feel like people are like, oh, I know how to do a bezel, but everybody does things differently. And I do try to put in a lot of little things along the way that I think people can get out of. Like, I have my studio assistant who has been working with me for 4 years, and she has assisted me teaching workshops like, I don't know, like 6 times maybe. And when this is like, I'm not trying to, I'm just quoting her. She's like, every time I watch it, I learn something different. And I'm like, oh,
good.
Thank you. So, I don't want to set, I'm not trying to set the bar too high. So I'll just for it. But so that one is going to be a long demo, because that is kind of like the all-encompassing thing that kind of gets beginners before they have their hands on it. It breezes through a lot of things that then I can help work on with individuals, especially if they're just starting out, so they can feel comfortable.
But when we say beginner, we don't mean like I've never touched a torch before, and that, I mean, yes, okay. You should have already taken a class or 2 or more before, to get the most out of this.
Oh yeah, they'll be fine. It'll still be very challenging, but that is, I've had a lot of people that I'm like, I've never touched it. That I was like turning on the torch and like, ooh, like, we'll get there. But so yeah, they'll be good. And so that will be like the initial, and then kind of I like to give people like a little breather to just start kind of bringing stuff. Oh, there is also like, I have a little exercise at the beginning to just kind of like hopefully push people to let go a little bit, and then we'll move on and talk about connecting things and kind of building upon stuff. So incorporating pearl setting, and we can touch briefly on songs or just talk about, depending, because I know that 3 days goes by very quickly, but we can touch on that and talk about kind of when is appropriate to use, certain settings for certain materials and stuff like that.
Excellent. So you've spoken about problem solving, but tell us a little bit, when you're during these workshops that you've taught, what do you find your students, what do you see your students often struggle with most? Like, do
Is it
you
design or
yeah, is it design? Is it
technical?
technique, like the irregular bezels, or trying to create composition of how to incorporate some of these unusual things? Or
Yeah, I mean, honestly, well, it's tricky because a lot of times I do have, again, like if that can be so varied, because it could be something where anytime if somebody walks up and they're like, I melted everything. I'm like, uh-oh, but we'll figure it out. But a lot of times I think that people can kind of have a hard time like letting go of trying to put the process first, which is like, I understand that. I mean, because once or you've seen, it's like you've carved the route already, then sometimes it's hard to come at something with the beginner's mind. So, and kind of letting that idea go of just being like, coming in with like exactly, which also I'm not discouraging it if someone is just like, I really want to make this piece in the workshop, like, then we'll figure it out. But I think, depending on what your goals are, I think that if you allow yourself to let go of that and just come in it with like a playful mindset, that you can really get a lot out of it, and you're gonna walk away with more solutions than you had already if you already have, say, your direct plan of action coming in.
So, I mean, even those who are like taking the class virtually, I mean, there's, you're going to have time on the camera with them, and they can show you their melt and all those things, and you're still there for them. So, I mean, I just wanted to mention that, for those of you who can't come to Atlanta, that you're still available to help them with this whole process.
Yeah. And because that's something too, where it's like, I think that of course it's always great to be there in person, but like there's plenty of, like that's not necessary. Like I think that is something that's great that, came out of COVID, because a lot of times people just can't be there in person, and, and it's like having therapy via
right?
And, we've got hundreds of people, and many people on this call tonight. I mean, hundreds of people have taken the virtual classes, and I gotta say, the cameras are amazing, and the folks who do all the camera work, oh my gosh, I mean, they should get an Academy Award. Maybe we want to see some of your, some examples. You said before that maybe you could show us some stuff that you've done and that can inspire us for the workshop.
Yeah, let's see. So I have a little bit in my studio, but I can show you all some slides too, whichever. Or
we want everything.
We want it all.
Okay. I won't. Also, I forgot to ask, what time do y'all cut? What time do y'all
Oh,
cut?
we'll do an hour. We'll do an hour. Okay.
Okay.
And then we do want plenty of time if there's any questions. So everybody will do Q&A, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
but I also, we're in this amazing studio in Penland. So we want to maybe see a little tour, you know, if you can move your computer,
Yes,
you know,
please.
your laptop. And then we'd love to see some images. That would be great.
Okay, well, should I start with a little tour?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Let's see. Oh, you know, I guess you can't flip okay, this is really stupid question. You can't flip your, no, never mind. I didn't ask that.
That's okay. Yeah, just turn your thing around and point it. Don't worry. I knew what you were talking about.
Right when I started covering my mouth, I was like, no, don't finish this.
So you've only been in the studio 4 months.
Yeah. Moving studio and just like your house, everything. It's just like very not that fun. So okay, so let's see here.
Wait, so you bring all your own stuff there?
Yeah. So it's like there's you have a blank slate, and that allows them to be able to have a really broad you know, to where it doesn't have to, like, there has to be a metals person and there has to be a this person. Like, and also it's for people that are like established in some sense and are already working artists, so that they basically have the things to kind of hit the ground running, which is great. So you know, because a lot of times people have really specific things for their processes.
I know, and sometimes people, I like my own stuff.
Yeah.
To use my own things.
Your own tool. Oh, we should ask you, what tool in your studio can you not live without?
Actually, this is a good, I'm going to circle back for a second because that's a great question. And mine are also, if you're taking the workshop, I'm not saying go out and buy these, but you want some good ultra flush cutters. So mine, do y'all know this brand Tronex?
Oh yes, it's my favorite. They make the best pliers ever. They're worth the money.
They're so great. And like, you know, Rio sells the Lindstrom and stuff like that. They do not touch these. If anybody wants to invest in a good pair of cutters, these are the way to go. Like, they should sponsor me. Like, I wish I'd be like, give me a discount code. But like, these are, they're the best. Like, I don't know what, like, their steel is stronger. I've been using this pair for, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, it could be 7 years or longer. And they're like,
just the fact that you don't know exactly how old they are tells us right there how good they are.
I have Tronex pliers tattooed on the back of my arm, which I kind of forget about because I don't see it because on the back of my arm. But I've had my round nose from them since.
I have those too.
I've had them since 2010. I've had these for 15 years.
Holy shnikes.
Crazy. And their chain nose too. So anyways, but the snips, to answer your question, it's these snips. They're gonna come in really handy with doing the odd shaped bezels. So great question. And then besides that, I mean, of course, flex shaft. But yeah. So anyways, that's the answer to that. I love
Thank you.
Beautiful studio. And I love all your drawers. I see your printmaker drawers in the back.
God, yes. They're amazing.
Oh, let's see here. These, and then here is my little puppy dog.
Oh, puppy dog.
Oh.
Very good.
Find out. Oh, those are so beautiful.
So it's kind of a mess. Well, I mean, I'm always like this, but so in these drawers, these are all like casting. So this is like all the way down. So with the natural castings, because they're not as like consistently successful, I basically, and also because it's like seasonal, I just cast in like bulk and then kind of pull from it. So you see lots of like little plants all around. And this is kind of what got me kind of pushing the boundaries with these castings. This is a milkweed, just like straight.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
So this I think was the thing where I was like, oh my God, I don't want to cut this up. And so, but I can't, it's like, it's too big. It's too delicate. And like so many things would get kind of lost in translation if it were to be jewelry like that. I was very excited. I wish I could pass this to y'all because it
Ugh.
was exciting. So then I have those, I have lots of bones. So all the bones are things that I found in nature and I take through a deep cleaning and stabilization process. I have more castings over here. We got lots of bones.
Dude, look at that.
So if y'all come to Pelham in the next 2 years, y'all can just mosey on down. And then I have lots of stones going all the way. This is just like my drawers of things. So this is like years. I think I started, well, like the first gem show I went to, I think I was 18.
Oh, wow.
And I've slowly built. Then this is my assistant bench. My studio is everything is very old and hand-me-down. So this is a good friend who I was bench sitting for, and now she said it's a permanent set. I scored both of these for free. This is
Oh my God.
Shut up.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so jealous.
It's nuts. And then I have this view out the window.
Oh, look at all those windows.
We're all gonna come visit you.
Yeah, please. That's a wood fire kiln right there. And so there's more studios right behind me. This is like my wax working station over here. My soldering station, which they this is my temporary ventilation, but they do the ventilation. So I'm
Oh, wow.
gonna have a very nice ventilation system, which I'm very excited about. So this is kind of my table of tools and some more things that
Hat.
are out. And then over here is my casting area. So I cast centrifugally. So we got that guy over there. This, there's how that thing is. I got my.
Look at everything you had to bring. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The moving a studio was very daunting.
Yeah.
And
We're about to move an entire building.
I don't envy you. Then you'll be on this side of it. It'll be fantastic.
Yes.
And then I have a couple little areas with jewelry. I don't have too much right now. But oh, hey, this is like a good kind of example. Oh, that's got a weird, let's see. I don't know. I haven't photographed this guy yet, but so this is a bone fragment. And then I have like these little plants and stones on top. So, we'll talk about how to kind of layer and build stuff like that to create more like interesting compositions.
And thinking about layers, layers and building up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's one of those things. It's like when you think about things, just like, it's sometimes you just gotta like throw all the things that out the window and then see what happens. And let's see. I have this like class.
Show us something else.
What we got here. There's like this. I put this plexiglass over my display thing while. Let's see. I'm gonna do the things I see people doing on Instagram.
Yeah.
So like this has like that's a little vertebrae that's pearl set on the side. And this was fun. Okay, this is like not really wearable, and I kind of did this just as an exercise when I got here, but I'm sure many of us done like the daisy chain or like the So this was like, I had cast the clovers, and so I wanted to kind of make it feel like, I don't know if y'all made it this way, but it's the correct way if you didn't know. Where you pinch the stem. Don't do it. Sorry, she's being scratching the floor. You pinch the stem with your fingernail, and then so to create the hole that you string the next.
Yes.
So I had cast the clovers and then just like fabricated that little area that so that then I could like string them through and connect them. But again, it's kind of few, but I think
cool.
it was just like I think when I was little, I was not a very sporty kid, and but I played softball and was like always in the outfield. And apparently my dad likes to joke that like they would like it would finally get out in the outfield and they'd be like, Anna. And I was like, what? And I was like out making then oh come on, sorry, this I'm trying to I have like all these little labels that I kind of pin like kind of going for like the sciencey. I like some bees. I like with the cement. And then these guys that I'm wearing, I'm excited about. They're like a new.
I want to see those.
Yeah, we were all looking at them, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
what do you have there? What is the
flowers?
So these are cast sun star flowers. Sorry, something. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm totally. It is Sunstar is the flower. And then, so those are cast in a bronze and then with the depletion gilded silver behind it. And so this actually does not have any settings in it, which is the first. Almost everything always has some sort of setting in it. And, but this is just like a fun, I'm trying to kind of take the pressure off it. And then, it's like, when you do I wonder, let's see what happens. A lot of times you get really good stuff. Actually, I did the Smithsonian craft show in April, and I got the Excellence in Jewelry, which I was really excited about. And apparently it was because of, this is the second pair, like this is the second rendition, but it was because of these earrings. And I was like, wow, so fast. And I was like, wow, okay. That was, and I think I made them the night before because I was like, I had only been in my studio. I had actually gotten to where I could work 8 days before, and I had nothing. So I was having to really crank it out. But yeah, so.
This is great, Anna. I think we want to leave a little time for some questions.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So if you have a question, there's a chat function at the bottom.
Or they can unmute themselves.
Or you could, that's true. You could just unmute yourself and ask a question, whichever you prefer.
A question to Anna, a question about the class, about the workshop, about just pieces.
Anybody have any questions?
I know these people like to talk. I don't know.
Anybody have any questions?
I came in just a little bit late. I was looking, what were the cutters that you were talking about?
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's see. They're Tronex.
Tronex?
So Tronex is the brand, Ultra Flush, and the ones that I have, their item number is 5223.
Leah's writing it down. Yeah,
they're great.
Where did you buy yours? Directly from them?
I got it. There was like some random place on some shop on Etsy that was selling them, but you can buy them directly from them. So just do that; it's easier. Or just type in that and like a bunch of options will come up. And I seriously, I cannot tell you how much I recommend them over the Lindstrom, like the nicest Lindstrom. I've broken, I've gone through so many pairs of those, and these are just superior.
Excellent. Is there any, maybe if we don't have any more questions, is there anything that you would like to share last thoughts about why they should take this workshop, or how much just how great it is.
I mean, it's going to be lots of fun. And also, like, no matter, you're going to get something out of it. You're going to get like some tips and tricks. The thing is that I think that I like to bring to the table is like, you're not, you know, I'm sure if most of y'all have taken workshops, you get, you know, every person comes with their own flavor. And I'm going to, you know, as someone who does it, you know, does this for a living, like, I want to share with y'all as much as I can. And so, you know, those are like a lot of just like little things with that I think you can apply to no matter what your own practice is, things that will help you get there a little bit easier. Also, if you're, you know, just looking to get out of a creative rut or get inspired, you know, I will very nicely, you know, nudge you to, you know, to try something a little different. And, you know, again, that's the beauty of the workshop. It's also funny just because I just took this workshop last week, and it again, like, that was my first time ever. It was so funny being on that side. Mm-hmm. And also Shingo is like a very generous, you know, kind person, but having times where he was pushing me out of my comfort zone. And, you know, it's like, no, like, you're always like, no, I could feel myself kind of being like, I don't want to measure so precisely. And, but it's like those things where, you know, sometimes it's very good to have those nudges. And, also another thing is, like, if there are corners to be cut, I have cut them. Like, I like constantly am trying. It takes me like 1,000 times over to where I'm just like, stop doing that, Anna. So it's like, I think in a lot of ways, I do things that are challenging to me because it keeps me engaged with doing kind of odd shapes. So that is going to take patience and attention to detail, but I am going to get you there. And I'm not putting in any like extra work or anything like that. And I love to if you have any like troubleshooting or if you're getting stuck on how to incorporate something in, or you feel like you need to eliminate something because it doesn't fit, you know, to be something wearable. Those are all things that I think I could be an asset to you all. So I just want to, you know, I'm an open book, and I just want to help everybody at the end of the day, you know, feel like they've gotten a lot out of it and feel inspired to go back to their studio and feeling like, you know, more knowledgeable with more tools in their toolbox.
I mean, isn't that the whole point of a workshop of, you know, is just to be really inspired, come back and just, you know,
go crazy
and do it and really feel like you've gone to another place, you know? And so that's really great. So the workshop is September 12th, 13th, 14th, either virtual or in person in our new Tucker location, and which is really quite charming. It's in downtown Tucker. It's just really charming, right off of Main Street. And one last chance. Anybody have a question? Anyone want to say something to Anna or us or whatnot?
I just have a question. Did you say you totally do centrifugal casting?
I do, yeah.
Okay. I
have a vacuum caster, but I just use it for investing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question.
Excellent.
Very good question.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mona wanted to say congratulations on your residency and Smithsonian Excellence win. So glad she could join, and thank you.
Okay.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate it, and I really, I'm really excited about the workshop, and I just really appreciate y'all taking the time to sit here and listen to me. Hopefully, I didn't ramble on too much or anything.
Right.
And yeah, I just appreciate the invite tonight and to teach, and I hope y'all come along and join the workshop because it will be fun. You will be challenged, and it'll be fun. It'll be good. And also one more, this just popped in my head of talking about taking a workshop just recently. It was a kinetic sculpture workshop. My pieces did not come out very kinetic. It was glass, and it was like, it doesn't really work. But the amount of other things, which one, I'm not saying that nobody's like, y'all are gonna walk out without anything. It was just like so funny being on the side of it. I'm like, it doesn't really work that well. But the amount of stuff that I got out of it, I was like, holy moly, you know, like so many more things that just like help like move you forward and kind of like I feel reinvigorated right now. And I think that I can, you know, I think y'all walk out of the workshop feeling the same way and seeing a lot of potential in, you know, the items all around you. And it's very exciting.
Well, we're very excited to have you. It will be fall before we know it, right?
Yes.
It will be September before we know it. And thank you so much, Anna. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. And we just appreciate you and can't wait for you to be here soon.
You betcha. Thank you so much, Anna. And for everybody out there in the audience, if you're interested in purchasing tickets to Anna's workshop, feel free to go to www.metalartsguildga.org. Click on workshops, and she's the second one down. Thank you so much, Anna, and we hope that everyone out there will be joining us in September. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thanks y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.